I am the Great Destroyer, the Taker of Life.
Perhaps you're too frightened to formulate a response.
The young man who lives in a whale dreams of adventure and finding Candied Island. But his best friend, Captain Knuckles, only cared about eating and drinking candy. His empty promises and constant lies make him the worst friend and worst captain of all time. However, the story of One Piece is the greatest adventure ever, and it's full of pirate captains who live for the thrill of finding treasures. Nonetheless, the greatest treasure of the One Piece, and wouldn't mind finding Candied Island along the way. Yes, I know where it is, just play along. And today, I'm going to analyze various One Piece pirate crews to deduce which one is the best fit for good old Flapjack. The Buggy Pirates are a goofy bunch. Make no mistake that Captain Buggy has a reputation to uphold. Buggy has the most immaculate pedigree of all the pirate captains in One Piece, having been on the Pirate King's crew and leading a prison break at the impenetrable Impel Down prison, which had no escapes prior. Buggy's personality is similar to Captain Knuckles. He's not lazy, but his career as a pirate has myopic aspirations. He knows where the Sky Island is, but has not tried to return to steal the gold he found with Roger as a kid. His strong personality would impress the easily influenced Flapjack. Flapjack would get to hang out with Moji and Kabaji the acrobat. Buggy was once a young man on a ship as well, so he may just take Flapjack with him. The problem with Flapjack joining the Buggy Pirates is Buggy's new acquisition of the prisoners from Impel Down. They may in fact be too rough around the edges, and it's safe to say that Buggy's taste for adventure is not as strong as it was when he was young. He just wouldn't take Flapjack to Candied Island. Speaking of candy, if Flapjack were to join the Big Mom Pirates, Candied Island wouldn't even be an issue for him, as Charlotte Lynn is in control of 35 sweet islands in her Dotland territory. Captain Knuckles would push Flapjack over just to become affiliated with the Big Mom Pirates, who could probably provide him with endless sweets until he fell over and died, as even the seducing woods is full of lollipops. As for Flapjack, the role that Charlotte plays is mother, and not really like Bubby. In contrast, Bubby coddles Flapjack, and unbeknownst to Bubby, she cripples Flapjack and his ability to become an adventurer. Big Mom is not going to do that with Flapjack. She's actually responsible for many of the mental challenges her children face every day, pudding, chiffon, etc. And if Flapjack isn't up to the challenge of helping her become the king of the pirates, then he will be cast aside. That's not good, considering that we already have questions as to how much he can contribute. I mean, he certainly isn't a Katakuri or a Berosparrow. Charlotte Lynn is the captain of the crew, and she has ranked her children from weakest to strongest. That being said, it could honestly go either way. Otama endeared herself to Big Mom because of her kindness, and Flapjack could do the same thing. But most likely, she may end up just trying to marry him off. Big Mom makes power moves, and she didn't really take to the sea until she wanted to chase down Luffy for embarrassing her at the Whole Cake Chateau. The adventure will not be there for Flapjack as much as we would like, and so we'll check our options.
Whitebeard Pirates. Captain Whitebeard is a strong man with a heart just as big if not bigger than Flapjack's. Newgate is in essence the hardened pirate version of Flapjack. The difference being that Newgate has the strength to protect people dear to him, and to him, Flapjack would be a child of the sea whom he could call his son. Whitebeard can be convinced to take Flapjack along, just like with Odin and Teach. I believe that Flapjack would thrive in the Whitebeard Pirates dynamic. I could picture him calling Whitebeard Pops. He could eat as much as he wants and go on missions with Marco and Whitey Bay. In their many adventures and travels, he may even attain a devil fruit. Flapjack would become a strong, loving person just like his captain. He would travel the seas and attain treasure, which he would share with his crewmates, as Flapjack is an unselfish lad. Whitebeard just wanted family, and that's why Odin was able to have a wife and kids on his ship. I do think that Flapjack is cut out to be on Whitebeard's crew, but I can't help but feel that there may be a better option. Redhaired Pirates. From what we have been able to glean and understand, Shanks and his crew are a very cohesive unit. We don't hear about Shanks mistreating or being cruel to his crew. Each member has quite the reputation, and little Flapjack would have a lot to live up to. Between Ben Beckman and Yasopp, we see the most guns used in the whole manga. Other noticeables, Yasopp and Lucky Roo, are other noticeably colorful characters. Shanks seems like a fairly easygoing person, and a heavy drinker. Shanks is an emperor of the sea, and highly respected among his enemies. He has lost an arm, and many still fear him. There is no time for a fledgling Flapjack to mature on red-haired Shanks' crew. We know that for a time Shanks was being pursued by Hawkeye Mihawk, the most fearsome swordsman in the world. He massacred a fleet of Navy ships on his way to meet Whitebeard. He had it out with Kaido and the Beast Pirates before they made it to Marineford. He was also targeted and accosted by Eustace Kid at one point, where Eustace Kid would pay the price of his own arm. The point I'm trying to make is that the red-haired pirates have no room for the faint-hearted little Flapjack. Pirating can be fun, as Yasopp once explained, but Shanks and his crew get their hands dirty, and that's why they are feared. There is no place for children. Blackbeard Teach is a dreamer. Say what you want about his rather dirty pirate look. The side of Flapjack that we love the most can be used to describe Teach, and the crew does have its share of doofuses, like Burgess. I do think that I should disqualify them because of the immaculate lineup of top-tier criminals on the crew, like San Juan Wolf, who'd probably adore Flapjack, and the alleged serial killer Catalina Devon. But you also have a former sheriff and a former jail manager. Quite the contradiction. Teach has a goal that's clear-cut, and his actions at Impel Down show that he's looking for people who can further his own ambitions. He's got no room for a pirate in training who needs to depend on him, like Flapjack. The Beast Pirates. The Beast Pirates are no doubt a fearsome bunch. Kaido is of course the captain, but actually in the story he is called a general. Of course, he seems to pull strings from the background more than he sets sail at this stage of his career. There's no doubt that Kaido only wants strength on his crew. Let's go over the hierarchy and the crew structure to see where Flapjack may fit in. First off, you have your all-stars, King, Queen, and Jack. These are Kaido's strongest subordinates. His trump cards are naturally gifted and rare individuals. Flapjack is not going to be one of them. Then you have your Toby Roppo. They are quirky. They can be fun to be around, but they are Kaido's elite. Flapjack doesn't fit in. He can't contribute on this level. Shinichi is a good rank to have, as you lead other gifters, but I see this as more of a goal for Flapjack, as he is entry level, and this rank has members of the worst generation. So we're going to jump down about 6 rankings to the position known as Marys, and they're basically just reconnaissance. They all wear paper eyes and report back, and this is where we will find our Flapjack. Kaido is not taking Flapjack to Candid Island. This isn't fun at all, this isn't adventurous, this isn't what we want, so let's move on. Roger Pirates. Finally, we have the very Pirate King's crew, the greatest adventurer of all time, the man who traveled the world, the man who discovered the One Piece, the man who got to the end of the map and didn't accept that it was the end. Gold D. Roger. And he's got no shortage of good times aboard his pirate ship. I do want to acknowledge that we did pass up on Whitebeard's crew, and I think that the median age on Roger's ship is a little younger. Even though Roger was a dying man, he took his crew for the most legendary wild ride of all time. So young Flapjack joins Roger, and of course he travels the world. Roger being the skilled sailor that he was, he traveled to the most mysterious islands known to the world. No doubt, he would easily have found Candid Island below Stormalong Harbor. Roger was fun to be around, but he was a hothead, and he got into many unnecessary battles. He had no special abilities known to us except his outstanding hockey, and he harbors the soon-to-be greatest swordsman in the world on his crew. It's possible that Roger was originally the best swordsman himself. Rayleigh definitely had a fun side as first mate. Gaban seemed to enjoy time with the younger members of the crew, and this would include Flapjack. Buggy is not portrayed as being much of a fighter, but he has risen to the top of this generation's worst pirates. Flapjack would have benefited from his time with Roger as well, even if he decides not to be a pirate afterwards. Flapjack has most definitely found a home. Straw Hat. I'm sure anyone would love to travel the seas with Gold Roger, but when we think of the Straw Hat Pirates, Flapjack does indeed fit right in. The Straw Hat crew members have many different goals, like Sanji with the All Blue, and Zoro wanting to become the best swordsman. So Flapjack could easily put Candid Island on the list. There are members of the Straw Hat Pirates that are not strong. The one thing that really makes a difference with the weaker members of the crew is that they don't want to disappoint Captain Luffy. Zoro is the first mate, and he does speak his mind at times, and hopefully Flapjack's personality doesn't irritate him too much. And Zoro would be very honest about Flapjack's inability to contribute on the battlefield. Nami and Robin may enjoy Flapjack because he's young. Usopp would take him on some pretty crazy adventures, and Chopper would no longer be the most polite person in the group. I think that as time goes on, Flapjack will evolve into a man on Luffy's crew. Because that's what it means to be a Straw Hat. It means to grow. But what pirate crew do you think Flapjack would be on? Maybe even Flapjack and Knuckles together. A package deal is always fun to think about. Or maybe Flapjack isn't a pirate at all.